Hi, everyone. How's it going? This is Miss Martin, the college advisor at Shawnee Mission Northwest High School. I'm here with you all today with a presentation on writing personal essays. So I will share my screen and we can get started. All right, so personal essays are just one part of the college application process. Some other parts are your actual application form. There might be supplemental questions that you need to answer on that form or separately. And those questions might be more, tell us something about yourself, what's a fun fact about you, something like that. So that's separate from what we're talking about today. But other parts of your application could be like sending your ACT scores and your transcripts. But we'll be focusing on how to write your personal essay today, so we can get started. Throughout this presentation, I'll be going over some lingo or terminology you might hear in writing your personal essays or in the college application process in general. We'll be talking about choosing a topic, some keys to success. We'll go through a few true-false statements to see if I can answer any questions you might have in the back of your head about personal essays, and then a few resources that might assist you with this process. So first up, some terminology you might come across during this time is the term holistic review. If you hear this, that just means that your application to a school is being considered as a whole. So where it helps to have great ACT scores and GPAs, that school is also considering all those different aspects I just listed of your application. So they want to know who you are in general, not just academically. Next up is your student voice. Your personal essay should sound like you wrote it. It's coming from who you are as a person, what's important to you. It should have your voice, but kind of going hand in hand with that is tone. It's important to keep your essay positive, real, and grammatically correct. So where this might seem obvious, it's in your best interest to kind of put your best foot forward. So to keep it in a nice structure and organized, to have it thought through and to show that you really considered the content that you provided in your essay and why you decided to share on what you shared in your essay. So next, choosing a topic for your personal essay. We're going to run through a few points with this process. Where your topic can matter, it's more important to have the overall essay completed thoughtfully. So yes, topic is great, but also how you're delivering your message and the content that's in your essay is far more important. So don't sweat over the topic specifically. A question you can ask yourself in this essay is how will you contribute to campus overall? And a key to this is to turn to your strengths. What are you naturally good at? What is really important to you? There's a lot happening in the world right now. Maybe you found a new passion or something you really want to learn about, or a club you want to join when you go to that school, or when you want to start, even better. The next tip is to let the pressure off. Again, this doesn't have to be the world's best essay, but instead one that clearly conveys who you are as a person and what you bring to the table. Next, consider what that school would be missing about you when you take away all those other aspects of your application. So set aside the ACT scores, the GPA, the other parts of your application that you've already turned in. If you take away everything else, what are they missing about you that's important for you to convey, is really a really good thought to keep in mind. An exercise for doing this is throughout all of those bullet points I just listed, or maybe you've been thinking about this for a while, go ahead and write an essay about it. Just get your thoughts down on paper or computer or whatever, and write that first essay, read it over, and if it's obvious that you are missing information that's important about you, go ahead and write a second essay about the information that's missing from that first one. So now you have two essays, and the advice is to provide those essays to someone you trust, like an English teacher or a school counselor, someone like that. Have them read it over, and you can together decide which one best represents who you are as a person for this college. Next, we'll go over some general tips and 5 keys to success. So for tips, make sure your essay comes full circle. If you mention something in the beginning of your essay, make sure that it ties back in at the end to really make sure your essay is coming across clearly. So again, just having that proper structure of your essay so that it's very clear what you're trying to tell this admissions team at a college. Next, keep in mind that you're not writing to your best friend. Keep things pretty professional, but again, going hand in hand with using your voice. So keep professional, put your best foot forward are great things to keep in mind. Next, don't put yourself in a role that's not comfortable to you. And this kind of dips into one of our keys to success, but be honest with who you are. There's no cookie cutter student that schools are looking for. They want to hear what makes you unique and your passions. So make sure to speak into that with confidence and own it. Next, the importance of the first sentence. I can only speak from my experience, but and some information I've gained from other admissions officers, but it's great to have an attention-grabbing first sentence, but it's not going to be what decides your fate at a certain college. Like I mentioned on that first slide, the schools are reviewing your application as a whole. So all the aspects of it, they're going to read your whole essay anyways. So don't sweat about having a killer attention-grabbing first sentence. They're going to read it all anyways. Next, with fact checking, this relates more to your actual application. I have a feeling they don't fact check with every single source or experience that you listed on your application. They're not going to call up the place you volunteered at when you were 14. So they're trusting you. They're taking your word for it. So don't lie. Be honest. I have a feeling that if they did find out that you lied on your application, there might be some consequences. So it's just best to be yourself. Put your best foot forward and tell the truth. Next, another thing to keep in mind is word count. There might be a certain number of word restrictions on your essay. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're writing to follow that word count. Going over to the 5 keys to success. The first is to be authentic, be you, be true to yourself. The second is to proofread. Look over your essay. I don't think it'd be in your best interest to whip this out in one night and then submit it. Write it once, look it over the next day, have someone else look it over the next day. So you have time to really make sure it's the essay that you want to submit. Next, use your voice. Make sure it sound like it's coming from you. Be honest and be a self-advocate. And this just means that you are using your voice, you're fighting for the things that you believe in. All right, our true or false section. Again, this video is not live, so whenever you're tuning into it, just think of your answer to yourself. And if you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me or your college advisor from your school. So this first one is colleges will not penalize you for minor grammar mistakes in your personal essay. True or false? Hopefully you said true. The admissions team at colleges are not sitting down with a red pen fixing every mistake that you made on your personal essay. They're in the business to admit you. They want to hear your overall message in your essay. Next, colleges will deny you for mentioning the name of another school in your personal essay. True or false? This is false. They're not going to completely write you off if you mention the name of another school in your personal essay. If it's information that makes sense and is needed, don't be shy and use it. So no, they won't deny you for mentioning the name of another school. Next, I have to write about a sad story in order to have a powerful essay. True or false? Hopefully you said false. No, you don't need a tearjerker in order to have a strong essay to be admitted to a school. Again, if it's your story and it's your truth and it's helped form you into the individual you are today, absolutely write about it. But no, you don't need to have a really sad essay in order for it to be powerful, to be admitted to a college. Next, I have to limit my creativity in the essay. Some of you are natural artists, so false. Don't limit your creativity. Again, the whole point of this personal essay is for colleges to get to know who you are as an individual. What's important to you? Where are your strengths? I've heard of an essay that was written in the form of a recipe. So he said, I'm 1 pound of happiness and 1.5 pounds of riding my bike in nature, or whatever is important to you. So again, don't use that example, but that's just an idea. Don't limit your creativity. They want to know who you are as an individual. Next, we'll run through some resources for this process. The first is some good old-fashioned self-reflection. If you're completely stuck and have absolutely no idea where to start, it could be a good idea to sit, get a piece of scratch paper out, and just write down some initial thoughts. Who am I? What are my natural strengths? What's important to me? What am I passionate about changing, or what I want to do to make the world better? What is something I really don't like, or I have a really strong opinion about? So just brainstorm some activity or some ideas of who you are. The next resource is the Common App. This is more for when it comes time to apply to colleges, but it's a really good website to gain information about different schools, especially if you're hoping to apply to a wide variety of schools and multiple different schools. It's a really good resource to have all your information in one spot too. Next is the school website. You can gain a lot of important information by just clicking through their website, ends up. So what are those schools' values? Do they match up with any of your values? Are really good things to consider. Next is the Purdue Online Writing Lab. This is more specific to the actual writing process, but they have a ton of great tips and tricks, especially for formatting your essays. And Grammar Girl is more specific to like how to convey phrases and use. Yeah. So those are some great resources to utilize during this time. But also reach out to your teachers if they have any tips or will help look over any of your essays as well. All right, this is my contact information. If you have any questions or want to chat anything over, please don't hesitate to reach out. But also reach out to your college advisor from your school. I know they would love to help you out as well. But thanks for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day and stay well. See ya.